If you work from home, email can quietly control your whole day. You open your inbox for one quick check, then 30 minutes disappears. You reply to one thing, then 5 more appear. And you never fully return to deep work. Most remote workers think the problem is too many emails. But the real problem is random email timing. By the end of this video, you will have a simple email system that protects focus, keeps replies fast, and stops inbox stress without working longer hours. Chapter 1: Why Email Destroys Focus at Home. Remote work has one hidden trap. Your work and your communication tool live in the same place. One tab, one notification, one tiny red number. Most people think they just need more discipline. But the real issue is attention residue. When you switch from writing, designing, coding, or studying into email, your brain keeps thinking about the email even after you switch back. That is why you feel slow and scattered. Most people also think checking often prevents missing something important. But frequent checking creates a constant open loop. Your brain stays on alert. That alert state is mental clutter. It drains energy. Here is the illusion. You are not being responsive, you are being interruptible. So the goal is not inbox zero. The goal is predictable email windows, with a clean way to capture urgent items without living in your inbox. Here is the rule for the whole system. Email is a batch task, not a background task. Chapter 2. Build the 3-bucket inbox. You do not need a perfect setup. You need a setup you actually use. Simple beats fancy. Most people try to manage email inside the inbox view. They read, reply, and decide at the same time. That fails because decision-making is the expensive part. It increases cognitive load. Instead, we will build 3 buckets: now, later, waiting. Now is for emails that take under 2 minutes or are truly time-sensitive today. Later is for emails that matter but require thought. Waiting is for emails you sent and you are waiting on someone else. Most people think the best approach is to keep everything in one place and remember what matters. But the real problem is memory is not a system, so here is the workflow. When you open email, you do not start replying first. You sort first, you scan subject lines. You decide the bucket, you move it fast. If an email takes less than 2 minutes, it goes to now. If it takes more than 2 minutes, it goes to later. If it is something you already responded to, it goes to waiting. If it is junk or unnecessary, archive it immediately. But here is the part most people miss. You need a limit on nows. Because now becomes a new chaotic inbox if you let it grow. Set a hard cap, 10 messages maximum in now. If it goes above 10, you are not doing quick actions. You are collecting stress. Most people think labels and folders are optional. But the real issue is your brain needs visible categories to stay calm. Now let me show you what this looks like in real life. You open email at 10 a.m. You spend 5 minutes sorting everything new into the 3 buckets. You do not reply yet, you just create clarity. That clarity reduces mental noise instantly. But here is the part most people miss again. The system fails if important emails keep landing in your inbox all day. That is where simple filtering saves you. Create 2 basic filters, one for high-priority people, one for low-value newsletters. High-priority people should be your manager, key clients, and any team lead who blocks your work. Their emails should land in now automatically. Newsletters, promos, and non-urgent updates should skip the inbox and land in later or a read later label. Most people think unsubscribing is the solution. But the real problem is delivery. If it arrives in your inbox, it steals attention even if you never read it. Filtering is environment design. You are shaping what you see first. If you want more practical systems like this, subscribe. We keep productivity simple here. Chapter 3. The 2-window schedule that protects deep work. A good email system needs a schedule. Without a schedule, email becomes a reflex. Most people think they should check email whenever they feel stuck. But the real issue is email becomes a procrastination portal. It gives you easy wins and fake progress. So here is the schedule: 2 windows per day. 1 in the late morning, 1 late afternoons. Pick times that match your work rhythm. For example, 10:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. The exact time does not matter, consistency matters. Your first window clears blockers for the day. Your second window closes loops before tomorrow. During the rest of the day, the inbox stays closed. Not minimized, closed. Most people think closing email is risky. But the real problem is you do not have an emergency path. So build one emergency path, tell your team the rule. If it is urgent, message you directly. Not email, email is for non-urgent communication. Now your brain can relax. Because you know urgent will still reach you, and everything else can wait. But here is the part most people miss. Even with 2 windows, you can still get stuck if later becomes a graveyard. That is why you need one more rule. Later must convert into tasks or calendar time. When you see a later email, you make one decision. Reply now, schedule time, or turn it into a task. If it requires focused thinking, schedule a 20 to 40-minute block. If it requires a small action, create a task with the next step. If it is a reply you can do it during the email window. Most people think email is communication. But the real problem is email is often task intake. So treat it like task intake. Capture the next action, then leave email. Here is a simple example. A client asks for a proposal update, you move it to later. In the email window, you decide it needs 30 minutes. You schedule 30 minutes tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Then you reply with a short confirmation. Done, no mental loop. Another example. A coworker asks for a file. That is under 2 minutes, it goes to now. You reply in the same window. Done, another example. You asked someone for information. You move the thread to waiting. Now you stop checking it. When they respond, you move it back to now or later. This is the system working. You stop remembering, you start routing. Chapter 4. How to keep the system from collapsing. Most systems fail for one reason. People make exceptions until exceptions become the default. Most people think the system broke because they had a busy week. But the real issue is they stopped protecting the rules. So we add 2 safeguards. Safeguard 1. A 1-minute inbox reset at the end of your second window. You do a quick scan, now should be empty or close to empty. Later should contain only items that have a clear next step. Waiting should be accurate. If something is in later with no plan, it is not later. It is anxiety storage. Decide the next step immediately. Safeguard 2, a weekly email review, 10 minutes once per week. You look at newsletters and recurring threads. You adjust filters, you remove noise, you refine your priority list. Most people think a better app will fix email. But the real problem is input volume and unclear processing. This review fixes the input, but here is the part most people miss. The biggest email drain is not writing. It is reading, so add one micro rule. When you open a thread, do not close it without moving it to a bucket. Every open must end with a root. This prevents the loop where you read the same email 4 times and still do nothing. Now let us close the full system. You have 3 buckets now for quick or urgent. Later for thoughtful work, waiting for follow-ups. You have 2 email windows, 1 late morning. 1 late afternoon, you have 1 emergency path, urgent goes to direct message. You convert later into tasks or calendar blocks so nothing rots. That is it, simple, repeatable, calm. Even if you fix email, there is still one more bottleneck that hits remote workers hard. Your day can still collapse from constant meetings and context switching. That is why the next useful step is learning a simple time blocking setup that protects focus without overplanning. If you want that, watch the next video on how to use a calendar as a control panel for your day. Today, do one thing, set your 2 email windows. Create the 3 buckets and close your inbox outside those windows. Your focus will feel different within 48 hours.